This court, because this is a pending complaint for divorce, and although it's here on a restraining order issue, it nonetheless is still a question of whether or not this court will adopt a parenting plan and who should be the primary residential parent for this child. So it won't just be a parenting plan issue, or it won't be just a restraining order issue. It'll be also a question of whether or not, or what plan I put forward as to how this child is going to be parented. Part of that is going to be the respective environments that exist in your home as well as the home of Mr. Boyd, because I have to determine what's in the best interest of your son. So the question that Ms. McGill is asking you, having to do with the sleeping arrangements, is a common question asked in these kinds of divorces. It has to do with how many people, you need to quit putting your hand up in the air if you're, I'm going to have you removed from the courtroom if you don't quit gesturing. The question becomes whether or not you have appropriate sleeping arrangements for all of the children, and that's a legitimate question, so you must answer that question.
And I have witnesses and proof that homework is done before anything else is done after school, every single time. And all three of the children know that are in school know that that's the rule. That they get told as soon as they get pulled in the driveway that get your backpacks, they're doing homework. And that's how it's been. Used to last year, I would let him choose whether he wanted to do, because he gets the whole week and on
You
Monday.
refer, excuse me for interrupting, you referred to all three children, but this is Aiden.
This is Aiden, yes, I'm just saying, he is one of the three children.
But you only have one child with
Yes.
this, with Mr. Boyd, correct?
Mm-hmm. And last year I let him choose, because every Monday they get their entire week's worth of homework for a certain class that day. That's the main homework, it's just math class usually. And so he chooses, last year I let him choose whether he wanted to do it each day individual, he wanted to separate it out into certain days, or if he wanted to cram it all into one day. Let him choose that last year. This year I do not let him choose that, it's just you do your homework when you get out. And some days he only does one of the two for that day, and then the next day he does three. But every single, by Thursday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon to Thursday afternoon, his homework due on Friday is already done. We do
Right.
study. I've made flashcards to study for his test. He made a 92 on a test that they said he was not studying for.
Well, let me say, a lot of what you're saying is going to be in the form of testimony that you'll need to give us under oath. But right now, this is just your opportunity to tell me what is your position regarding this restraining order.
My position is I've talked to multiple people and I have witnesses that I do not, Aiden is not scared of me. He has been on multiple times over the past month, has hit me in the face with no fear of repercussions. He almost blacked my eye this past week with a lunchbox. He got in the car and just whacked me in the face with it and then laughed because he had no fear of repercussions because he's not going to get any, except for to tell him not to do it again.
All right. Then we're going to go ahead and proceed with the proof, so if you'll just have a seat at the table. Ms. McGill, you may call your first witness. Ms. Page, if you'll come around here, over here, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and be placed under oath. Mr. Perkins, hand me that remote.
Ms. Page, you're aware that Dylan, or that there's been reports that Aiden, has reported that you have physically abused him?
Yes, and he also has done that to his school teachers and stuff. I've had to have meetings with the school saying that the school teachers were beating him with spatulas and all that before too.
Ms. Page, I'm going to pass forward the document.
All right.
Ms. Page, do you recognize this photograph?
I do from court last time.
Okay. Did you take this photograph?
I did not take this photograph.
Do you know where this photograph came from?
This photograph came from photographs that was taken of him, and he ended up going to the doctor. This is 2022. He had to go to the doctor because he had issues with school in kindergarten. In 2022, they put him on Adderall. And the teachers were having issues at Westmead Elementary School, is where you can find that file at. But the teachers were having issues with him self-harming, him throwing desks, him hurting other kids and stuff like that while on that medication. He was not emotionally stable. He had severe anxiety while on that medication and everything at just the age of 6. And he was self-harming. There was times where he was literally chewing the skin off of his own body. There were times where he was trying to stab himself with pencils. He was hitting himself with
Okay,
things.
hold on. Who took this picture?
I did not take this picture. I do not
Who
know who
took-
took this picture. It was sent, I've seen this picture before. It was sent to me. I'm guessing either Dylan or Taya had sent it. His sister Taya had sent it. They were the ones living with us at the time, and it was sent to me.
Was this photograph, are you aware that it was on your iPad?
It was on my iPad. Only way we got on my iPad is through Snapchat. Somebody would have to download my Snapchat and pull it off of saved photos.
So someone sent it to you on Snapchat?
No, I did not have, I had it saved underneath those memories through iOS because I had switched phones already.
Well, how did you initially come to have this photograph on your iPad?
Somebody took it from whenever they went on there and drew out photos of me from 2019 that were pornographic videos on there, locked in there to put on my iPad that same day.
You have no idea who took this photograph?
It was either Dylan or Taya. They
And
were the
how do
only
you
ones
know
living there.
when this was then?
Because I can see the carpet in the background and the design, and I know where that place is. That
Where is this
The
place?
apartment. It is in his room, around his room, in the apartment in Bellevue, Tennessee, on Hicks Road.
And was he living with you at the time?
He was living with all three of us at the time.
All three, who's all three of you?
Dylan and his sister lived with us as well at the time.
Okay. So you did not take this picture.
I did not take this picture.
Were you aware of these marks on his leg?
I took this photo actually to the doctor. The doctor was also aware of this mark, and they took him off Adderall and put him on Vyvanse
Not my
instantly.
question. Were you aware of these marks on his backside?
I was,
At the
and that's why
time
I
that
took,
they were there?
when I got the photo, yes, I became aware.
So before that, you weren't aware of these marks until you saw this photograph?
No, ma'am, I was working 2 jobs.
You were working 2 jobs. How old was Aiden in 2022?
He was 6.
Okay. He was showering by himself?
No, he still technically can shower by himself, but doesn't wash everything. He doesn't do his conditioner or shampoo correctly and stuff.
So you never saw these when you were showering him or bathing him?
This was new. You can look by the photo and see that was a newer mark. No, I did
Ms.
not.
Page?
I did not see that before the photo. No, ma'am, because these are new marks on here, and you can tell it by the photo.
But somehow you know when this was taken, just
I
because
do.
of the
I
carpet?
do know when this is taken because of the carpet and because of the decor in there.
And you know what month it was taken?
I do not know what month it was taken. No, ma'am. But I do know that there is reports at the doctor's office where I had to take him in for self-harm, and with the reports from the school at his doctor's office.
You keep saying self-harm. It's your
I don't know.
claim that the child did
I
this
don't know
to
if he did
himself?
that. I do not know if he completely did that himself or if somebody did that to him. I don't know. But I do know that the photo was taken into the doctor along with the notes from the school, and they took him off Adderall, and he has not had issues with it since, until recently, since December.
So if he's told people that you hit him with a hanger, that's what caused these notes, that's not true?
That's not true. He also told me that the teacher hit him with spatulas and hangers. We had meetings at the school for that as well, and the teachers had to talk me
Now-
down the fact that they were not doing that.
Will you agree with me that this looks like it could be a hanger?
I agree that does look like it could be a hanger. I agree.
And so is it your opinion that he could do that to himself, hit himself from behind with a hanger that hard to make those marks?
I don't think he could, but I mean, I don't foresee either of them doing it either,
So
though.
it didn't concern you to report this, if
I
it wasn't you, to report
Did
this?
report it to the doctors.
Do you have any evidence of
And-
that today?
I did not bring it with me today, no, but it is with the doctor's office.
That's
That's why they changed his medication in the first place.
I'd ask that this be entered into as the next exhibit.
I think we'll mark it as Exhibit 1 for this hearing, so. Now, we have not made exhibits of those reports that had been filed under seal. So at this point, I'm just marking this as the first exhibit. I have reviewed these. Do you want to mark these psychologicals as an exhibit?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
Then we will mark as Exhibit 2, Ms. Boyd's psychological evaluation. As Exhibit 3, Mr. Boyd's psychological evaluation. Aiden's psychological evaluation will be Exhibit 4. We have one that is a non-custodial family parenting permanency plan that will be marked as Exhibit 5.
Would I have some additional photographs to pass forward?
All right.
From 2000,
Your Honor, I want to warn the court, these are lewd photographs, to say the least.
from my locked files on Snapchat that he had to put in my code that only he and I know to get off.
Ms. Boyd, do you recognize these photographs?
Yes, they're from 2019.
And
When
they
we were not
were,
together, we were separated, and he actually had full custody of Aiden, temporary full custody of Aiden at the time, but he was not seeing him. He just dropped him off
Ms.
with my
Boyd,
mom.
please limit your, I'm going to ask questions, okay? And you recognize these photographs. They're from your iPad, is that correct?
They're from my Snapchat. My Snapchat was not on iPad. He had to download it and pull these off for that. And and his mother, and Terry Lynn has also, on recording on my phone, admitted to being the one to do that.
Okay, so Aiden uses this iPad, correct?
Aiden, they have that iPad, and Aiden, these photos were not on there until Thanksgiving of this year. They took it off that day. She admitted to it. But yes, he does use that iPad, and these were not on there when he did use them.
Okay.
I have it.
And so
There's
the
a
first
video.
picture, is that you? The picture with the, looks like a Batman tattoo?
That is me.
Is that you? Okay, and the next picture, is that actually a video?
That is a video from 2000, actually, that's from 2018.
And is that a video of you masturbating?
That's a video that was locked on my thing, and it's not illegal or anything to have that locked in a locked thing where you have to have a passcode for.
It's not my question. My question is that a video of you
Yes, and there's also
masturbating?
many videos of Dylan as well on there.
And the third set of photographs, is that also you in these photographs?
That is also me in those photographs, in a locked area where nobody can get to except for Dylan and Boyd and I.
But you admit that Aiden has access to this
He does not have
iPad.
access to this, no, he does not. These were not on the iPad until he took the iPad the day that he downed his mom, which I have, again, a recording of her admitting to it over the phone of being the one to do so, to download a Snapchat on my iPad.
So
when they
these are
took
in
it.
your Snapchat?
Those are locked in my Snapchat on only my eyes, so you have to put a code in to be able to see them, a passcode.
So you send them to people?
Now, that in 2018, they were sent to a significant other.
What year were you married?
I got married in 2016, we separated in 2017, our divorce started in 2018.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd ask that those be entered as the next exhibit.
Mark them as a collective exhibit. This would be 6.
Ms. Boyd, do you recognize the document I've passed forward?
It is a text strand, and it was a text strand pulled from my phone, from the iPad, by linking the iPad to my phone.
Okay, and is this, are these text messages from you to someone else?
They're to me from somebody else,
Okay, and who are they from?
a significant other at the time, a significant other.
Okay, and who is that significant other?
Name is Shelley
Okay, Shelley what?
Armstreet.
Okay, and is that who you're living with now?
That is,
Okay, and so is she in the gray bubbles?
she is,
Okay, and you're in the green bubbles?
I am.
Okay, and do you know when or about, so this is November 25th. Is that when this text message, does that seem correct to you, when this text message would have been sent?
Yes,
And you're in a sexual relationship with this woman, correct?
I am.
And her husband, correct?
I am.
And you're living with them now, correct?
I am.
Okay. And they have 2 children,
They have 3 children.
3 children? And those 3 children also live in the home?
They live in the home in separate rooms.
What do you mean they live in separate rooms?
They don't, have their own rooms,
They have their own
have
bedrooms?
separate rooms.
Okay. So the children have, how many bedrooms does the house have?
Has the master bedroom, the living room, and then there are 3 other rooms and 2 bathrooms.
How many bedrooms does the house
The
have?
house has 2 bedrooms. The toddler sleeps in a baby bed. The
The house has
3-year-old.
2 bedrooms, so there's.
2 bedroom, the 2
three
bedrooms that are
adults.
thing of, the back room is going to be turned into a bedroom. There is another room that's not used, that is a bedroom, that is not used as a bedroom right now.
There's 3 adults living in this home and 3 children plus Aiden, depending.
Relevance, please, on our sleeping arrangements for the children that,
Your Honor, or Miss,
You
I
just-
asked the questions.
You need to just listen to the questions she asked. If you have an objection based on a legal basis for an objection, you can object to the question because you're representing yourself. But other than that, you must answer the questions rather than questioning why she's asking.
So my question was, there's 3 adults and at least 3 children full-time living in a 2-bedroom home, correct?
objection, because what's the relevance to this?
The relevance is the living conditions that the child, that Aiden would be living in, Your Honor.
This court, because this is a pending complaint for divorce, and although it's here on a restraining order issue, it nonetheless is still a question of whether or not this court will adopt a parenting plan and who should be the primary residential parent for this child. So it won't just be a parenting plan issue, or it won't be just a restraining order issue. It'll be also a question of whether or not, or what plan I put forward as to how this child is going to be parented. Part of that is going to be the respective environments that exist in your home as well as the home of Mr. Boyd, because I have to determine what's in the best interest of your son. So the question that Ms. McGill is asking you, having to do with the sleeping arrangements, is a common question asked in these kinds of divorces. It has to do with how many people, you need to quit putting your hand up in the air if you're, I'm going to have you removed from the courtroom if you don't quit gesturing. The question becomes whether or not you have appropriate sleeping arrangements for all of the children, and that's a legitimate question, so you must answer that question. And I will overrule any
Third
objection.
room is being turned into a single room for Aiden. The one that was not used for a bedroom, it was just used for the storage and everything. It was only going to, it's being turned into Aiden's bedroom. That is what we're in the process of doing. So that would be, Colin would have his own bedroom. Bella, the 12-year-old, will have her own bedroom. Aiden would have his own bedroom. And then we'll either put an add-on for the 3-year-old when she's able to go to her own room, or she will go with her sister Bella.
What room do you sleep in
I sleep in the master bedroom.
with the other 2
Yes, with,
parties? And the other 2 people are married, correct?
yes.
Okay. Do you use drugs, illegal drugs?
I do not use illegal drugs.
Okay. I'm going to pass forward this document. Honor, did I ask that last?
You have not moved it, but I will have it moved as Exhibit 7, is that right? What was 6? Again, those other photos. Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, I gave you 4. There's just 1 for each.
Does this go with a prior one? Or is
No,
this a
Your
separate
Honor,
one?
this is a new one.
So Exhibit 7 is the chat, all right.
Do you recognize this document of
I
passport?
do. I also recognize seeing them on Dylan's phone as well, as he did the same thing.
Okay, so is this you texting with somebody named Aaron Tanner?
It is me texting with somebody named Aaron Tanner, and he also, because of this, had police at his house, and they only found legal THCA there because it's not illegal, it's all legal stuff.
Okay.
That you could buy at the vape shop.
If you go down, just beyond halfway down the page, on where it says November 20th. Is that you in the blue bubble saying, hey?
Yes, it's me in the blue
And he
bubble saying, hey.
responds, and then you say, do you have any more pot?
That's not what that says. That says wax, and it is THCA, it is legal, and it's Tennessee and taxes get paid on it. You could go to the vape shop right now and get some, at the gas station and get some.
Well, then, if that's the case, then why are you buying it from someone named Aaron Tanner and not going to the
Because
vape shop?
it's $20 for it there or $50 at the shop.
And so you say, awesome, can I get a quarter?
Yes, and he's actually the one that picked it up.
So you get a quarter, this is November 20th of this year, correct?
For 20th of this year.
Yeah.
It's not this year. We haven't
Oh,
hit
I'm
November
sorry,
November
2025, 2025. That's
And
my
we weren't
fault.
separated until November 27th.
So you said, can you get a quarter? Correct? And a quarter is not wax, is it?
Yes, it is.
So it's your testimony that you're buying legal,
Yes, and I also have photos
THC
of
from
it,
this person.
and I have photos of it, and I have recordings of it with DCS, that's what it is. They have tested it, showing that that's what it is, and they have photos of it, showing that that's what it is.
and I'm going to pass forward.
So are you making this the next exhibit?
What I'm going to do is make them a collective exhibit, Your Honor.
Same thing.
So if, again, just a little bit further than halfway down the page where it says Sunday, June 22nd, you say, hi, do you have any green? How much is a quarter? $60. And that's you texting with him again, correct?
That is me texting with him again.
And is it your statement, do you maintain your statement that you're just
Yes.
asking for legal?
I do, and that's
Marijuana.
what and there was a police documents, he had gotten raided at his house, and all they couldn't do anything, all they found was THCA.
So,
They tested it and everything.
green, that's not wax, correct?
That is CBD marijuana. But because that's green, and that's a whole different thing. That's honey, it's a jar of honey, which is what's considered wax, like beeswax. And then that's, green would be the actual green part.
Recognize the next document I've passed forward?
Yep, again, all the same stuff.
Okay. And you say, and this is on, do you have any carts?
Which you can buy those at the gas station right now too,
What are
but really
carts?
expensive. It's vapes. Which
And-
were easy
and
for
this
Dylan to take to
person's-
work, which is why, he'd like to take them to work, which is why I needed one of those, actually.
And this person is some sort of authorized dealer of this stuff?
He has a friend that has a shop and gets the stuff that they're not putting out or that they change out from. And that's the reason why he was not arrested when the police raided him and found all of it.
Recognize these documents?
Again, same stuff.
Same stuff, and you're asking him for an eighth?
Same thing.
Then you say you'll take it? You picked it up?
Sometimes I picked it up, sometimes Dylan picked it up. Sometimes Dylan was the one that messaged him asking for it.
You recognize this that I've just passed forward?
I did.
And so you're going to meet your drug dealer at 3 o'clock?
And this was at Petro to meet Heather, and this one does not. If it was saying that it had the stuff and that was going to meet for that, then it would show what I was meeting for, and I'm not. This was somebody that I knew's parents too, that I helped take care of help with their grandparents and everything with. So we'd meet up for other things than just that on many occasions.
So this is the same person, Aaron Tanner, that you've been buying this wax and legal THC from.
Legal,
Correct.
all of it's legal, yes, and it's been
And-
tested by DCS.
Okay, but you're gonna pick that up and then you're gonna head straight there to pick up Aiden, correct?
I did not pick that up here. It shows here, I told you it would show what I was picking up and asking for it, and it does not show that here, which means I did not go to pick that up at 3 o'clock.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm gonna ask that all those text messages be entered as the next exhibit.
Let them collect the exhibit. What is this now? 8.
Ms. Boyd, are you currently working?
I am, I just started working last month.
Where do you work?
Braymont Kennels as a dog groomer.
Did you tell DCS that you were gonna get a job with an insurance company?
I was looking into getting a job with an insurance company because I had not heard back from any grooming jobs. And then I heard back from this grooming job, so I then no longer took that offer from the insurance company for a remote job and took a grooming job because it pays better and it's something that I was went to school for and that I know how to do.
How often do you work? What are your hours?
I work weekly and I work till I'm done. Like I usually no later than 2 p.m.,
What time do you start?
8 a.m.
Every day?
Every day, at least I'm off every other weekend for Aiden, and I'm off every other Monday and Thursday,
So you work Monday?
5 days a week,
Okay, and some weekends?
every other weekend.
Every other weekend, except that, and 5 days a week, except that every other week
The
you are.
weekend that I'm off, I'd work the entire 5 days. The weekend that Aiden's not with me, that I am at work, I am then off that Monday and Thursday.
Okay, and what is your hourly income?
I get paid commission, I don't have an hourly income. I get paid what I groom.
Okay, and so you are there from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, grooming dogs that entire time?
Every day until I'm done. I'm there from 8 a.m. till I'm done.
Okay, and what time are you normally done?
It depends on the day. Like, you don't know. Like, some days I'm done at 10. I walk out of there with $200 at 10 o'clock. Some days I walk out of there with $300 at 2 o'clock. You never know what you're going to get with grooming. It's kind of like,
And you think that pays better than a job at an
Well,
insurance company?
I can work 20 hours a week and make $1,500 for 2 weeks, make 40 hours in 2 weeks and make $1,500.
Have you done that yet?
I made $1,200 on my last paycheck and I didn't even have 20 hours on a 2-week paycheck.
Are you paying rent where you live?
I will be.
Are you paying rent where you
Not
live?
at this moment because I've been saving up to get a lawyer.
Do you have a vehicle?
I do.
And are you making car payments?
There's no reason for car payments. It's already paid off.
Okay. And is that car in your name? Titled in your-
And they are withholding the title, actually. I paid it off with my own money, and
My
Dylan
question
and his
is
mother
the
own it.
car in your name?
it is not. It is in Dylan's grandfather's name because they are withholding the title.
And you drive that every day to work?
I will refuse to drive it until I get the title because I don't want.
How do you get back and forth to work?
I use one of the Arm Street's vehicles back and forth to work.
Okay, so you do not have a working vehicle of your own?
I do have a working vehicle well, I do. I paid for it, and I have text messages from Terry saying that she acknowledges that I paid for it and that the title will be in my hand. And that was 3 months ago, and she still has yet to get to hand over the title.
It's drivable, but you don't drive it?
Yes.
Do you have insurance on it?
I do not drive it. It's not in my name. I can't put insurance on it.
Okay.
I don't have a title for it.
Okay.
But once I do have that and I have it registered, I will have insurance on it.
What vehicle do you use to pick Aiden up from school?
One of 3.
Of your boyfriends?
Sometimes in a Ford Excursion, sometimes a Cadillac.
Who owns
sometimes
those vehicles?
The Arm Streets.
Okay, and the Armstreets are the couple that you live with and are engaged in a romantic relationship with, correct?
Correct.
So it's your testimony today that you have never hit or otherwise physically abused Aiden?
I have never physically, I've used to, before he got this autism diagnosis and I talked to a therapist and stuff and like how to like go with Aiden, used to get his butt popped or used to whip his butt. But I haven't done that in probably 2-3 years. Actually, the only person to whip his butt is when he needs a butt whipping is his father, because my hands, you can look at any x-rays and tell my hands are not capable of doing that. I can't even barely open and close scissors for work.
And has Aiden witnessed you and the Armstreets having romantic encounters? Excuse me.
Maybe a pet kiss here and there and a hug and stuff, but no, he's never witnessed any of it, anything else.
So if he's reported that he's heard noises coming from the bedroom while you were in it with the Armstreets, that's not true?
The only way that would be is if it was, he came home from school in the middle of the day at that time.
Does he ride the bus?
He does not ride the bus, and he does not come to their house on the bus ever.
Did you read Miss Smith's report to Aiden?
I did not read Miss Smith's report. I sat him down and I asked him why. After reading the report, I sat him down and I asked him, because they are walking around telling him to say all these things to people and coaching him to say it. And so I asked him, I said, why, if you don't feel these ways, why are you saying this to everybody? And he said, because if I just do what they say, it'll take their power away and they can't bother me with this anymore, is what he said to me, and in tears.
Did you tell
And I
him?
asked him, why are you saying these things?
Did you tell him that you were going to lose custody of him because of what he told Miss Smith?
I told him that.
Did you
because
tell-
I did not. No, ma'am, I did not say that.
Let me interrupt you for a second. Go back and tell me again exactly what Aiden said was the reason why he said those things.
Because he's trying to take away their power of making him feel this way by just doing what they say.
And you think, how old is Aiden?
Aiden is 9 and autistic and very impressionable.
And you think that's an expression that he would normally use, that he was going to take away the power of his father and these other people?
That is not something that he would normally use. He also was told that they told him he had to say these things on God, and God wouldn't like it if he didn't say them. He has said this in front of multiple witnesses and screamed it out that they're forcing him and everything over and over again.
All right. Excuse me for interrupting, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Aiden met with Miss Smith at your house, correct?
He did, and she only talked with him. She didn't talk with me like she did with Dylan and Terry. And because her entire statement is what Terry said, and none of it has anything to do with anything backed up. It's just her recollection of what she thinks happened in my life when she was nowhere around.
Okay.
None of it, all of it is very cited to what paternal grandmother says, and none of it is backed up with any kind of proof, but I did bring the proof against it with me today.
Aiden has been wanting a snake, correct?
He has 4 snakes.
He's been wanting a python, correct?
He has always wanted them, yes.
Okay. Did you buy him a python within the last few days?
He went to the reptile expo and he was bought a ball python that he does not get to handle like that.
How much did that cost?
It was $100 and I did not pay for it.
It was $100? Do you have a receipt or anything for it?
Do not, it was at an expo. You don't have receipts there. They're vendors.
So if Aiden says it costs a lot more than that, is he lying?
He is lying, and I have other people that were there that saw the price, and I actually have a card that she came with in the car that shows her price on it.
How did you pay for it?
She was paid with cash, not by me. He was bought for us by the Armstreets, actually.
The Armstreets bought the snake. And what day did you buy that?
That would be Saturday, which is why Miss Smith didn't want to do his interview on Saturday and why it originally got rescheduled in the first place, because he had an expo that day and she didn't want him to miss it.
Ms. Page, did you buy this snake for Aiden as a means to persuade him?
No.
To say that he wanted to come to your house, that,
I've been always wanting a cinnamon ball python and hadn't seen one in years. and they happened to have one, and I let Aiden choose which one of the 3 cinnamons he would like, and then I went and made my decision on it too afterwards. This had nothing to do with any of that, but he did tell me, on the note of persuasion, he did tell me that his Chi-Chi bought him an oculist so that he would stay over there with her,
Those are my
VR.
questions, Your Honor.
because that's what he's been asking for.
Ms. Smith, do you have any questions?
Now, DCS was involved with your family, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when did they become involved? What month?
And I believe it was October. Yes, it was October, because then that's when he started staying over, night times over at Terry Lynn's.
Okay, so in October, and you did have a psychological, correct? Did you, but you hadn't seen it till I sent it to you, correct?
Correct.
No, did you read it?
I did.
And I asked you yesterday about this, and one of the things is, the recommendations is therapy.
And I do have a therapy appointment this Thursday.
Okay, when did you begin therapy?
In I believe December, early January, December. I got the recommendation from them in December, and I'm not sure if I believe the first appointment was in beginning of January.
Okay. And so
Not
how
so good with
often do you
dates.
go?
I was going bi-weekly, and I've been looking into finding somebody that can do evenings and do more of a weekly thing.
And have you, I don't guess you've presented this psychological to your therapist?
I just got it today, probably
Okay.
like yesterday.
Okay. And was there anything in the psychological with which you disagree?
I would honestly love to retake the psychological assessment and not underneath the strain and the stress and the pressure of Dylan Boyd and Terry Cottrell.
You would like to redo the
I would love to, because
psychological?
I feel so much more like I'm not under attack or weight all the time now. I'm feeling like I'm not having to carry everything myself anymore, because with that distance from them. And I'm feeling so much more mentally safe and healthy ever since then.
So there are things with which you would disagree?
There are a few things in which I would disagree.
What would those be?
The anxiety one, I don't really have anxiety until outside of Dylan Boyd and Terry Cottrell and Jerry Donwood. Like they were, and in my therapy appointments, they have notified that it is the anxiety is a trauma response to their ongoing mental and emotional and verbal abuse over years and years.
So, and I understand you've had a traumatic childhood, correct?
I did.
Now, so you have consistently gone to therapy since the beginning of this year?
I missed a few appointments because of the ice. 2 of the appointments got missed because they rescheduled because of the ice. And then afterwards, I had to find a new therapist, because the therapist that I was seeing every single time, like the morning of my therapy appointments, I would get a text message from them saying that she wasn't able to meet and I'd have to reschedule. So that's why I was like, I'm just going to find somebody in the evenings, because it's easier to reschedule for evening appointments, because I won't have to worry about scheduling around work. I'll be there already.
Okay.
So that's why I ended up with an appointment this Thursday with somebody in the evening.
So who is that?
I'm not sure whether, this is maybe a new therapist. I'm not sure of this person yet.
Okay.
It's a lady, I know that.
And what group is she with?
Cornerstone,
Cornerstone?
or Cornerstone right there in Dixon, right across from the
Okay,
fairgrounds.
Centerstone.
Centerstone, maybe, yeah. Get
So,
those mixed up.
so You haven't really been consistent since January with your
I'm trying to
therapy.
be consistent, yes, but I've continued to get rescheduled and canceled on
Okay.
by the same therapist.
Another recommendation was psychiatric treatment. Have you seen a psychiatrist?
I have before, and they wanted to put me on ADHD medication, but every time I'm on ADHD medication, I just feel like sick to my stomach, and like I lose a lot of weight, and I just don't feel like a person on ADHD medication.
Another recommendation was intensive therapeutic support, which would include either a partial hospitalization program or a co-occurring intensive outpatient program. Have you looked
That's
into
the reason,
that?
another reason why I would like to reschedule that, because I've talked to people and I've talked to the therapist about whether I need it. And the therapist thinks that I do not, and I've talked to a caseworker too on there who is a psychiatrist, who I saw after every therapy appointment and would go up there and see her. And she also said that she did not believe that I needed that. So
There's an objection. Sustain the objection.
hearsay.
It's you saying what someone else said.
That's all she stood up there and did.
But that would be something that you might be able to provide
I
proof
could
of.
provide proof for that. I can.
And you did have parenting classes,
I
correct?
did. I've taken parenting classes now twice because you have to do it during a divorce in the state of Tennessee. So I took them back in 2019 during our divorce, and I took one just back in 2025.
But I assume that you didn't provide that person with the psychological because you
I
didn't
didn't have it until
I
yesterday.
understand. Now, apparently, I think you testified that you did talk with Aiden about my report, correct?
I didn't talk to him about the report. I asked him, after reading the report, I asked him why he's saying these things, which they're going around telling him to say these things. I didn't think, it might have been, I might be wrong, but I didn't think it was going to be wrong for me to ask why he's saying it, since they're having him tell everybody. And last time we were in here, they were in the witness room having him bombarding my witnesses with making him say things. And he had to look at his feet. He would not look at Terry. He refused to look at anybody in the face when saying it. But later that afternoon at dinner with that same person, he was in their lap, cuddling with them, laughing, playing, having games. But he is so stressed trying to recite what they're trying to get him to say over and over and over again, that he just has to stare at Terry and basically ask her for cues the entire time.
Do you think that's appropriate, not just you, but for anyone, to talk with Aiden about this situation?
I did not think it was appropriate as long as they were doing it this entire time over and over again. So finally yesterday, I just finally broke down and asked why he was doing it. Because they've been having him go around reciting him, saying, tell them about this, Aiden, tell them about this. And there is, if you guys have recordings of witness room from last time, there's a recording of her doing the same thing to him then. And so I was asking why, because I wanted to know why he was saying these things. And before it was a little too late to know, and he said because he was trying to get the power taken away from them by doing what they say, is what he said. He said it in front of other people. There were witnesses.
Said he made that statement in front of people.
He did.
Now, do you know his teacher, Miss Turner?
I do know her also, and I have her reports here on his IEP saying that he has actually downfalled since October going to Terry's. He had nothing but good reports or no comments until he went to Terry, started staying at Terry's, and then it's nothing but bad reports.
Now, do you understand that Aiden is very bonded with his teacher?
I understand completely that he is bonded with her.
And she with him? Do you think she's bonded with him?
I'm not sure. I don't know how much contact with Miss Turner. I know that she says that they are bonded.
So, and he confides in her, correct?
I'm not sure.
believe you testified earlier that he told his teacher, which I assume was Ms. Turner, about some physical abuse.
Who testified?
I thought you had,
No, ma'am.
that he told the school.
Oh, no, I testified that I've had meetings with the school because he is saying that teachers are doing this to him. So he has confided with me that teachers are hurting him, in which I had a meeting at the school about it, and they told me that that's not the case, and Aiden admitted afterwards that that's not the case.
How would you describe Aiden's personality?
He is very sensitive and overly sympathetic and empathetic, especially something you wouldn't expect from a kid with ADHD and autism. He is a little enigma, very quirky and peculiar. Like, he's very specific on how he wants things done in a certain time, certain way. But the most amazing kid.
He, in my experience with him, he rarely smiles. Is that your experience?
Not at all. I have photos showing that otherwise. He's super happy, playing outside, making forts, goofing off with the other kids, making little forts.
What other kids?
The other kids that are in the household. There's a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old.
But he was friends, best friends with, I guess, the 9-year-old, Colin.
They still are. Just not at school because they see each other outside of school. And you wouldn't see a brother and two brothers hanging out all the time in school and outside the school. You wouldn't see two kids that see each other outside of school sitting there up hanging out with each other in school like they did before either. They both go opposite directions. They're sitting on opposite ends of the rooms in all their classrooms, so they don't get any contact with each other. When they go outside, Aiden sits down, and recently, at the beginning of the year, it wasn't like that. The lady in the IEP meeting on Friday, they stated that as of November, December area to now, he has increased on his antisocialness. So he sits there and doesn't, like, people come up and ask him to play and he won't play with them. And that was something that was not really an issue before. They had dropped all this stuff in his IEP at the end of last year during his IEP meeting because he was doing so much better and he was doing so good at the beginning of this year and then dropped. But you wouldn't expect two kids that play outside of school to sit there and be right up underneath each other at school as well. They also have other friends to play with. They're not arguing, they're not fighting at school. They're not arguing, they're not fighting at the house. I have photos and stuff of them actually hanging out and having fun at the house.
So the teachers didn't discuss with you that Aiden now, since Colin's gone, they're not friends anymore, doesn't have any friends?
The teachers and little Colin has actually stated their concern with the fact of Aiden's recent anti-socialism.
So you say that's recent?
Is recently started over the past few months. Because they took that off his IEP at the end of last year and everything because he was doing so good, making friends, chit-chatting like he was just one of the other guys. Like he didn't have atypical autism.
Okay, well, thank you.
Recross, redirect, whether?
School?
Yes.
And is he still at counseling at school?
I don't know. They took over that. I made him whenever his school therapist was no longer going to be at the school, I made him an appointment at Centerstone for a therapist to substitute that until they got another one for school. And Harry Lynn actually called, canceled that appointment and rescheduled another one and then never took him to it.
At some point, did you cancel his counseling at school?
She asked if he wanted, at the end of the summer, she said, do you want to start Aiden's therapy back up, I asked Aiden, I said, do you want to talk to Miss Nash this year once a week, or do you want to see how it goes? He said, I'd like to see how it goes. So I told her, and I have text messages where I told her, Aiden wants to see how it goes, and then, but can we add it if he needs it or anything, if he starts falling down at school again or socially? And she said yes. So, and there, I can produce the text messages for that as well. And then I also have messages where I asked her to start therapy back up again for him as well this past year.
Do you recognize this?
I do. He has been getting, that's the reason why I didn't want him on the bus anymore. And Terry wanted to fight for him to stay on the bus. She said it was a good social thing for him, but every time he's getting off the bus saying he doesn't want to get on the bus, he doesn't want to ride the bus anymore, saying that kids are beating on him, beating him up.
Hold on one second.
And there was
Is this-
actually a report from school where these kids did beat him
Hold
up.
on one second. Is this a text message between you and the school therapist counselor?
I'm not sure whose number that is. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't memorize numbers, but it looks like something
You remembered?
this is. And then the next text message to me, which they neglected to actually add that in, is me saying, telling her that I sent her the email already about starting it up. But that they decided, they just coincidentally decided to cut that one off of this photo of my response to her about me already sending her an email about starting it back up and asking to start it back up in that text message as well.
Your Honor, I don't need to enter that.
We'll hand that back. You may. Ms. Smith, anything further? Thank you, Ms. Page. You may stand down. We're going to give you an opportunity when you're putting on your proof to resume testifying if you wish. It may make more sense for you to go ahead and do it, though, while you're here and under oath. Do you want to testify about any part of this proceeding today, other than what you've already said?
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly what that means.
Well, what that means is that you understand I'm here today to put down a parenting plan that's going to determine who is the primary residential parent for your son and what arrangements you each have as far as the split of time between you and Mr. Boyd, the father. So this is your opportunity as your lawyer. If you had a lawyer, they would put you on the stand to ask you questions that they felt like would demonstrate to the court why you whatever it is that you want me to do. So I guess what do you want me to do regarding your son?
I do not want to take custody away from father at all. Like in 2022, for his 6th birthday, he asked for mom and dad to get back together. So he begged me for it. And because he never got to see his dad and liked to see his dad. So I did that, even though I knew I wasn't going to be happy doing it. I did it anyways. And then around October, November of this year, it was actually November 13th of this past year, he was making plans and for a month before that. And then at that day specifically, we were walking and he was making plans with all kinds of people on how he was going to build him and mom a house so that dad could just go live with his Chi-Chi and mom and dad could be separated and him and mom would go live somewhere else and dad could come and visit sometimes if he wanted to and all this. Even Aiden was concerned about the relationship and the dynamic between his father and how his father was absent even though he was there and everything, and how his father asking why dad hurts me at night and stuff. And also, I have things that show where they're talking about me doing legal drugs that are legal, marijuana and CBDs and stuff for sleep and everything. I have videos and I have things of Dylan actually doing mushrooms and saying the reason why he couldn't watch Aiden when one night a month was because he was too busy trying to get high.
So are you wanting to introduce, what exactly is it you're referring to? Are those photographs,
These are,
text messages?
these are photographs of text messages that I have 2 copies of for
Right.
each.
Then you need to hand that to the bailiff. He's going to show Ms. McGill what you have, and Ms. Smith, allow them to review that, and then I'll consider whether or not to make those an exhibit. If I understood you correctly, when you were testifying about those text messages between you and this individual that's been referred to as your drug dealer, that individual, you're buying, according to you, from Mr. Tanner, legal THC products?
Yes, and they,
And
with
the
with this
reason-
report, they had police raid his house, and the police couldn't even arrest him because all of it was legal.
When did the raid occur?
I believe end of January, beginning of February. I don't know the exact date. I'm not
Why
good
do
with
you
dates.
say they had the police raided?
Because the police that stayed there was showing him the reports from text messages that they sent in to the police from my phone.
All right.
The police
And-
officers told him that.
And the reason that you're saying that you are using, why are you using these drugs to begin with, legal or illegal?
I have ADHD, and sometimes I can't go to sleep. Like, I got things going on in my head, like thinking about everything I'm gonna do the next day and all the stuff that I have to get done, like homework that needs to be done, schoolwork work that needs to get done, dogs that need to be groomed. And so it's either the doctors wanted to prescribe me sleep meds. I did take the trial of the sleep meds, but I was almost like, almost like it was a drug that completely impaired you. Like, I was almost like I was drunk, and I don't drink. So I was not okay with that. And I've been drunk once when I was a teenager, and that was it. That was all for me. I was done. And so this medicine making it feel the same way, I wasn't for it. And then I had issues waking up the next morning as well with it. It was drogginess, oversleeping my alarm and stuff. So this just helps me go to sleep like a little. It's was actually recommended to me by the doctor.
Doc,
I'm a primary care doctor,
And
and
who is
Centerville
your-
recommended that I try CBDs.
who
and
is,
stuff.
what is the name of your primary care doctor?
She's no longer my primary care doctor. She doesn't work there anymore, but it was at St. Thomas in Centerville.
You don't remember the name of the doctor that
No,
told you to
this
do
was probably 9 years ago, that she recommended that.
All right. Next question I have for you is my understanding is, and these are the documents you want to introduce, correct? You indicated that, and I want to make clear, if I'm understanding correctly, you are involved in a relationship with this other couple, this man and this woman, and it is a sexual relationship. The 3 of you are living together. Do you sleep in the same bedroom, the 3 of you?
Yes, which is,
And right or wrong, whether I agree or disagree with that, but is your son aware of that relationship?
just as where he was with his cousin, with his aunt. When his sister Taya lived with us, she was also in a throuple. She had a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and that was not an issue then. He knew all about it. She'd tell stories about it and everything when he was 6 years old. And all he knows about this is that mom has a boyfriend and mom has a girlfriend. He sees them, he plays with them, they go to the park together, he enjoys time spent there.
All
That's
right.
all he knows. He doesn't know any details or anything because he is a 9-year-old boy.
You had these 2 text message photos that you wanted to introduce. One is from April 19th. It doesn't show what year. Can you tell me what year this was?
It'll show a different year if it wasn't in the past 12 months. So it was,
But what are
it
you
would have been
saying?
2025.
What are you saying that these documents represent?
They're trying to say that I was using drugs and everything, and that Dylan wasn't, and that shows representation that Dylan was the reason why Dylan couldn't watch his son for one night a month was because he was too busy trying to get high.
All right.
And this was just this past year.
So this is between you and Dylan? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because it basically says that, when are you coming home? Hi, I'm not sure yet. Aunt Karen and Mona go back to New Jersey. We're supposed to go see them today. And his response was, okay, let's do this afternoon because me and Hammy, who is Hammy?
His best friend.
Me and Hammy are about to microdose some mushrooms from Marley's. So by that time, I'll be sobered up enough to go visit. And you said, never mind, like I said, I will just go. I'm not going to go there at 10 o'clock at night the day before Easter. Then the next one is in May. And what does this one on May show?
It's showing where he was supposed to be, for months, we had a plan for us to go to a little girly concert with my best friend. And he, for like 3-4 months, had already been planned. And he agreed to watch Aiden that night. And, he lived in the same household with him. But then he never wasn't at the house. He was with his friend doing drugs instead.
All right, and this one starts on May 22nd at 9:20 p.m. And it says, why are you not going home? You have the responsibility of Aiden one night in months. We had planned for 3 months, Dylan. Why couldn't you have just hung with Hammy tomorrow after work instead of the one day I relied on you? Your response was, his response was, I just wanted to get high real quick. We're about to go. Then on Friday, May 23rd, the next day, you said there was weed at the house, ! About when will you be off? And I need you to let me know like an hour or so before you get off so I can go to get Connor's ducks from Dixon and your mail from your mom's before I get you from work. Okay. He says, okay, baby, I'll look once I finish this area. I love you. All right. And you want to make those an exhibit. Mark them as exhibit collected next in order. You may, but we're going to let her finish what she has to say, then you can cross-examine her. But she's putting on her proof at this point in time. Anything else that you want me to consider in your case?
Dylan's admitting to his abuse and stress that he was given it through text message, talking about how.
Do you have more text message photos you wish to introduce? They need to be shown to the bailiff, and the bailiff needs to show them to the opposing counsel.
All go together in order.
If you have others that you intend to introduce, let's just show them all collectively, and then they can review them before we introduce them.
There's this one where he left me in 37-degree weather in the parking lot at Dollar General for hours.
Just show them to them, and then we'll let you explain what they are.
Oh, this goes to the end of that other one, the first one. I'm so sorry. I dropped it. And photo of my back after he forced sex on me in the middle of the night while our son was 3 feet away. And photos. And proof right here on Miss Smith's account saying that about the ghosts and about being evicted. This is the person that we lived in the house with at the time. His name is Derek Whedon. I was in a relationship with him.
Okay. Ms. Page, you come back to the stand. All right, we're going to continue until right around 12, and then we'll break for lunch. I have 2 different detectives who are coming back for warrants and subpoenas at 1 o'clock. Ms. Smith, you have something? How long a hearing will it be? Well, we are far from finishing in this hearing, so It just depends on, I mean, I have tomorrow morning available if,
Work tomorrow morning.
Ms. Smith, do you have any idea how long your hearing's going to take? An hour? Well, when we quit it, when we adjourn it, no, or recess at noon, my intention would be, I've got to meet with 2 detectives who have 6 judicial subpoenas and 5, and then a warrant. So that's going to take some time for me to go through at 1 o'clock. So we can wait on you if your hearing's first in the docket. Do I need to call Judge? All right, then we will wait on you to get back before we resume. So I don't see how we've got anything else other than
What about children in school? Would this court gonna be out in time to
you'll
get
have to
children
make
from school?
arrangements. Whatever those situations are, you'll have to make arrangements. Once we start this hearing, the only other thing we can do is to try to continue it to another day in Chantry, and then we're looking at April. Well, when we break for lunch, you need to make your arrangements regarding the children, because obviously,
After school,
I have no
there's a
control over how long you will take putting on your proof, but this is your opportunity to be heard on this, and we reset it once before, so now is the time to try to get this done. All right, Ms. Page, you have shown the exhibits you want to introduce, so we'll take them one at a time. If you want to show the bailiff, officer, clerk.
I gotta reorganize them. I'm just gonna grab the ones I already have over here.
Everybody needs to be prepared for the fact that you might want to make arrangements over lunch. When you leave here today, both of these parties are going to be required to go through a drug screen. So. Let's have your first exhibit if you want to introduce it.
There's this one.
You've handed me something that is a sheriff's report from a Dixon County
Showing
sheriff.
that the reason for the,
Hold on just a second. Let her tell me what it is, and then I'll hear your objection. I have a feeling I know what your objection
it is on the ex parte order, they put on there that I was not following the DCS rules and stuff. That's part of the ex parte order that you've read and everything. And that is a police report showing that I actually verbally told the officer that I was following the order and that I plan to continue to follow the order, and that's just a
The
police report
definition of
showing.
hearsay under our rules of evidence is that a document or a statement that is made outside of the courtroom is sought to be introduced in the courtroom to prove what is said in the statement is true. That's the very classic definition of hearsay, and there's an objection from counsel. You're objecting on the basis that this is hearsay, correct? Then I will sustain the objection. You cannot just introduce a report made by a third party to
Even a
indicate.
police report? I'm sorry.
Police reports are not normally, police reports are not usually introduced anyway.
Okay.
I have to sustain the objections. Next. What have I been handed now?
Those are the text messages showing where in Ms. Smith's report, it says that they said that that I told Aiden that he was going to get attacked by ghosts. The reason he saw ghosts in the window, he was going to get attacked by ghosts because we were evicted. And that's showing that, and that's saying that that I've been abusing him for years and stuff. And that's somebody who was next to me for 4 years straight when Dylan was almost nowhere to be seen.
Who is D?
His name is Derek Whedon. He was my significant other while Dylan was, when we were separated by courts and we were in separate relationships. He was with a late girl named Summer, and I was with somebody named Derek Whedon. And that is our messages with him just like in the past month. So that would mean the rest of them thing that they put in would be hearsay.
And your purpose in introducing this is to show your statements?
That the statements that Miss Smith wrote her entire report on what paternal grandmother said. She didn't ask me any facts. She didn't look up any facts on any of this about whether I was evicted from Dixon. And that's the reason why I said those things to scare and hurt Aiden, because I was mad and everything. But that shows right there that we weren't evicted. And that's what that's for, to show that, because everything that in Miss Smith's report was all geared towards what Terry Lynn Cottrell had said, and she didn't ask for any proof or any kind of.
These text messages are between you and the person you used to be involved in.
Me and the person I lived at in that location.
When I'm talking, you don't interrupt, okay?
I was answering.
When these messages you're seeking to introduce now are messages that between you and a former lover or boyfriend or whatever, and you're asking him questions about whether or not he remembers the ghost that supposedly, and you're asking him to give you evidence that you can use. He can come in and testify, but you cannot use his statements in a text message as a means of being able to establish what he would say otherwise. So I sustain the objection. This is not admissible as well. You have another document.
Can I ask a question also? Because I would like to know, because almost every one of their evidence is text messages that they didn't bring somebody in. That was text message. They didn't bring somebody in to testify that was.
But those were text messages involving you, and it included statements that you were making.
These are
But
testifying.
what the problem with the last document that I sustained their objection to is that you were seeking to introduce what he says by making self-serving statements of your own. You're saying, you're asking him questions about this ghost situation in any event.
Well, I would just want to know, because they said that in her report, she has as fact that I was evicted, but she has no proof or anything. So that's technically hearsay from Terry Lynn, but it was able to be sustained in court. And that's why I'm curious about.
A report is not evidence. It's simply a report by the guardian ad litem assigned to it. And you need to understand, while I'm willing to try to give you some guidance, you're on your own. You've had the opportunity to hire a lawyer. You have not been quiet. You have not done so. And as a result of that, you're bound by the same rules of evidence that the other side is bound by. So if you have an objection to any of their others, you should make it. If you don't, then we need to go forward with what else you want to hear, what else you want to produce.
I had to provide a lawyer for myself. I didn't have my mom paying for it like he did, and I had to find a job because I wasn't allowed to have a job while I married him.
I don't need you to explain anything. I'm simply stating you've been given an opportunity to hire counsel. You're not entitled to appointed counsel, and as a result of that, all right, so here we have a statement or a text message that is from Dylan, and this is from Dylan to you?
It is from Dylan to me.
All right, that would be admissible because it's a statement of a party opponent, and it's on November the 9th. What is it you're asking? Why is this relevant? This is the one where it says, what do I need to do because I'm about to freeze to death?
That is where he left me for hours in a parking lot at Dollar General in 37-degree weather to go hang out at his mom's house and to do things at his mom's.
Okay. I'll mark that as the next. We'll make these a collective. Any that I will allow that one. This is another message from Dylan to you, April 19th. What does this one show? Why is it relevant? Well, this is the same one that you had talked about earlier, where it says that Mr. Boyd was talking about him and Hammy were about to microdose some mushrooms from Marley's and go. I don't think we've made that an exhibit. Did we make that an exhibit?
And this is where this one is, yes.
I'm going to make these a collect, these would be admissible.
This is one where I am basically begging him to just be a dad or a part of the family, and he's telling me I should, and where after he had tried to throw me to the ground, and he's saying that I should just have him arrested and all this, and then me basically begging him why it's got to be that way just to get anything done. Those are all separate.
When was this series of text messages?
Was in September 16th.
What does this show in this series that you feel like is relevant?
This is where they're talking about that I've been the one showing abuse and neglect and stuff throughout it, and this is him admitting to the fact that he was actually doing that, and that he was admitting to not being there as a parent or as a spouse, and also throwing me to the ground, trying to throw me to the ground, physically.
I'll allow those to be exhibited.
Eh.
We're making a collective exhibit, so I'm not actually,
Which one
it's
was
going to be
that?
collective exhibit 10.
All three of them? So the one is where they're saying Aiden doesn't smile, and that's what we get out of Aiden all the time, and how Colin and Aiden don't hang out, and that's what they're like all the time. They right up each other's butts almost all the time. And then the other one is a photo of my back after Dylan once, at one of the times he forced sex upon me while 3 feet away from our son.
We're
That's the
gonna- I'm
reason why
gonna-
our son would ask why he'd hurt me at night.
All right, I'm going to take this set of text message photos and make them a collective exhibit 10, is that what you said? Then the next documents you're asking are 2 photos, one of 2 boys laying on a couch.
Yeah, they're laying on the bed, shit hanging out, very annoyed that mom came to take a photo and bother them, but that's them all the time. They're either
This-
playing Roblox, outside playing, building forts, playing jumping on the trampoline.
All right, this is the one I'm talking about. This
That's
is-
the kids
all
that
right,
they say don't get along and can't play and play together.
We will mark
that's
that as
them.
exhibit 12, 11. And then you had another photograph of a child,
Smiling. They say Aiden doesn't smile anymore, but this is what we get all the time. This
And
is
this is
Aiden all the
Aiden?
time. Yes, sir. Aiden all the time.
Mark
Big old
this.
happy smile.
we'll mark this as a part of the collective exhibit 11. And then this other photograph is of,
It's my back after Dylan forced sex upon me while 3 feet away from our son, as he did multiple times, especially closer to the end of our relationship this
how
past
did
year.
that, how did the red marks on your
That's from
back?
his arm.
We'll mark this as exhibit 12. Can you keep up? All right. Anything else that you want to?
No, sir.
So that concludes all of the exhibits. Is there anything else you want to say before we allow the other side to cross-examine you again? So,
I'd like to also correct the thing, because I said it was I don't know if somebody heard me say that it was a 2-bedroom house we lived in, but it's technically a 4-bedroom house, and it's have another room put to it also. I don't know if maybe I didn't know if that got put in as it's a 2-bedroom house, but it is a 4-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms.
all right. But currently, are they all 4 being used as bedrooms?
One of them is going to be used as Aiden's bedroom. It is not being used as a bedroom right now because Aiden has not been cleared to stay there, but it will be used as Aiden's bedroom completely.
Miguel, you wish to ask any additional questions based on her testimony up to this point?
Are there 2 rooms being used as bedrooms right now?
There are 3 rooms out of 4
Right
rooms.
now, are there 2
3
rooms?
rooms being used as bedrooms right now out of 4 bedrooms.
Okay, so you're in the master. The Armstead's children are where?
Colin is in Colin's room. Bella is in her own room. And Lillian will be in Bella's room. She is in a crib right now.
Where had Aiden stayed?
Aiden will have the 4th room.
Okay. And has he stayed overnight there in the past?
He has had 2 sleepovers before this whole thing even started with Colin, with little Colin.
Not since you've moved, so since
No,
you've moved
since
into
I've
the
been in
house,
there,
he's
he has
not?
not slept over there.
Okay. Back to your Exhibit 10. There's a text message between you and Mr. Boyd where he says that he's going to microdose some mushrooms, correct? Mm-hmm. And he says that he got from Marley's.
Yes.
What's Marley's?
It could be a person or it could be a shop. I'm not sure.
There's a vape shop named Marley's, correct?
A vape shop, yes, but that doesn't have anything to do with mushrooms.
Okay. Do you know anybody named Marley?
I mean, I know a few people named Marley, actually.
Okay.
We actually went to school with 2 Marleys.
Okay. And so is that someone that, so when he said Marley's, did you know what he was talking about?
Not instantly, no. Marley's is a vape shop where you go get vape stuff and like other things like that. You don't go there and get mushrooms.
Okay.
Mushrooms are a thing you go and get at the store.
That's my question, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, anything? Thank you, ma'am. You must step down. Do you not have you have a short witness, Ms. McGill? I assume you're... That's fine. All right. What's her name?
Did we start
You'll
today
come
with
right up here,
Exhibit
please,
1?
ma'am. I'm not worried about that. Raise your right hand, be placed under oath.
Ms. Cottrell, could you state your whole name for the court?
Terry Lynn Cottrell.
Okay, Cottrell. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And how are you related to Mr. Boyd?
I am his mother.
And Aiden's paternal grandmother then, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And currently are Aiden and Mr. Boyd living with you?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about your house. How many bedrooms does it have?
It has 4 bedrooms,
Okay.
2.5 baths, and we are currently converting our garage, which is 25 by 25, into a apartment with another bathroom.
Who all lives in the house besides you, Mr. Boyd, and Aiden?
A husband,
Okay, and what's his?
Jeremy David Cottrell.
Okay. And is that here in Dixon?
It's in Burns.
Burns.
Yes,
Okay. And how long have you lived there?
since 2020.
Okay. Tell me about how involved you've been with Aiden since his birth. I mean, just quickly.
Well, as much as I could be as a grandmother when he was a baby. And then
How often did you see him when he was a baby?
often.
Once a week, once a month?
Weekends,
Okay.
because I worked professionally Monday through Friday.
Okay, what do you do for a living?
I was an executive manager over physician practices for 11 years for St. Thomas.
Okay. And what do you do now?
I now own a spa.
Okay.
And I've done that since 2015.
Okay. And so you saw him pretty much every weekend?
I wouldn't say it would be every weekend, but as often as I could on weekends.
Okay. Over the past, let's say more recently, say last 2 years, how often have you seen Aiden?
Very often.
Okay.
Spent the night with me in vacation, like when they're out of school for break. He would spend days with us. We have a pool. He would come over, swim, had birthday parties at our house. He lived with me.
How long have Mr. Boyd and Aiden been living with you?
They officially moved in Thanksgiving Day.
Okay. Prior to that, where were they living?
They were back and forth. They had the opportunity to live at our house, but majority at a small camper on Catherine's mother's property.
Okay. So their maternal mother's property, there was a camper on it that they were living in?
A 200 square foot, like pull behind camper.
Okay. How often were you seeing Aiden when they were living there?
On weekends, if they wanted him to spend the night, or we would ask for him.
Okay.
I would say the normal, I don't know how to quantify it, but a normal grandparent visit and spend the night.
Okay. Have you been involved, in the past 2 years, have you been involved in any of Aiden's physician's appointments?
Yes.
Okay. And tell us about that. Do you go to every appointment or?
No, I've supplemented in the past, and here recently have been more involved.
Okay.
Almost every appointment. I always assist, just because when Aiden was first diagnosed, and I'm going into something, so stop me if it's too much. He lived with us for a year, his first grade year. And during that time, I was solely responsible for him Monday through Friday in his schooling and his education. And
What grade is he in now?
he is in third grade.
So in first grade, for that whole school year, he lived with you?
After the first 12 weeks, he came to us. He came to us in truancy. So I had to navigate from Davidson County to Burns immediately, so that the truancy wouldn't kind of counterbalance his schooling. So they took him quickly in.
Okay.
And he immediately moved in with me.
Was Mr. Boyd living with you?
No, they were trying, this was an opportunity for them to get ahead, to buy a home
Okay.
in Burns.
Okay. And so they all, by agreement, Aiden was living with you
Yes.
and Mr. Boyd and Miss Page were living somewhere else?
They had, yes, we put them as a residence and we had space for them to live with us. It just wasn't chosen for them to do that.
So first grade, obviously, if he was living with you, you were very involved with his school, his teachers and that sort of thing?
I was fully involved.
Okay. And did Aiden do well that year?
It was the most exemplary year he had.
Okay. Okay. And then last year, so for second grade, he was back with his parents living in the camper mainly?
Yes,
Okay. And then now since November, he's been back with you?
yes.
Okay. And you said that you've gone to the doctor's appointments. Are you still in contact with his teachers
Yes,
and school staff?
yes.
Okay. What have you noticed? Well, let me start with this. Has Aiden ever told you that his mother physically abused him?
Yes, on multiple occasions.
Okay. What has he told you that he's done to you? To her, or him, I'm sorry.
Once, well, I was notified by his second grade teacher that she had called the police on the abuse. So that led me to ask him questions. And he told me that there was an incident with an iPad where his iPad was broken. And he ran out to his uncle Hunter because he was really afraid that when his mom woke up and she saw that his iPad was broken, that she would retaliate. And he came in to ask her questions, and she drug Aiden out and had him say that it was him that he broke the iPad. And he said, I was very confused because I don't remember breaking the iPad. I woke up to the iPad being broken, but I don't remember any of that. And he said, after that, Mom said, get back into the camper.
Okay, but
We're gonna talk.
let's focus on,
Yes.
did he tell you that she hit him or pushed him
Well,
or beat him?
this is the start. So he said, as soon as they got into the camper, she picked him up and threw him onto the couch and started to yell. And when he stood up, she punched him in the diaphragm, and he said it took the breath out to where he made a
Did he
sound.
say diaphragm?
No, he said chest. Here. He pointed to areas.
Okay.
And he said, and then he said he thought she was trying to hit him in the shoulder, but he thinks she accidentally hit him in the face, but it was by accident, but he was hit in the face.
Okay.
And then he said that he told her she was hurting him, and she said, that's what happens when you tell people things about me.
Okay.
And then Dylan came in, and she hit Dylan with a frying pan, Aiden, saw that.
Okay. So is there been any other times when he's told you that she's hit him?
Yes. He, the most recent is the one I can recall. There was an incident at my house. He got off the bus every day at my house all year, where the school had called, and he was dysregulated that day, had not been on medication, and for the very first time had gotten in serious trouble and was disrupting the class. And so we have Ring cameras too, so I saw this as well. But he told us, me and my husband, he spent the night with us the following day. This was on a Friday, Saturday, and he asked us if we could help and said he had had enough. He was done with the abuse, that his mother, he came in and his mom called him back in his nice voice into the master bedroom, our spare bedroom downstairs, away from the cameras, and immediately hit him in the head. And
With what?
her
Did he say
hand,
what?
with her hand.
Okay.
And then he said, Al, why did you do that? And she said, you have humiliated me. The school called me today. I cannot believe you did that. And then she drug him into the bathroom and beat him with my hairbrush that I had down there, because I would use that bathroom sometimes to get ready. And he said, to the point though where he said he felt like he had learned to resist pain, but it was so overwhelming. And then she stopped. And can I refer to the video that I saw afterwards? Am I allowed to?
You're allowed to say what he told you.
Okay. And then he said after that, he came out and she just yelled at him for a long time, and then yelled at him in the car ride on the way to pick up Dad, and yelled at him till he got home. And then when he got home, all he wanted to do was curl up and cover up with a blanket, and that's what he did to protect himself.
Okay. And did you verify this with some sort of video?
Yes.
And what did you see?
I saw him come in the front door. He was in a very good mood. When he's unmedicated, he's very hyper. He's a cheery child anyway, but he was over the top, clapping, skipping through the house, singing. And he was looking for his mom, and his mom had walked into this spare bedroom. And he kept saying, Mom, Mom, and she called him, and I could hear her call him into the bedroom. And then I saw him walk into the bedroom, and I couldn't hear anything, any of the events that happened. But then minutes later, he comes out, and he is slumped, appears to be in pain, is walking like a person that would be in pain. And she comes behind him, and she is just saying, how could you humiliate me? All the parents know, all the teachers know. I don't care if I didn't give you your medication. And you can't use ADHD as an excuse. You should have better control over yourself, and whether you had your medication or not, that is not any excuse for you to act the way you did today. And he said, but I didn't have my medication and I couldn't help it. And she said, yes, you can, because you purposely humiliated me. You did this intentionally.
Did you see her take him into the bathroom?
You can't see the bathroom because it's an ensuite of the master bedroom.
Okay, so you didn't see that?
No,
Okay.
did not.
When Aiden came to live with you in November, did he bring an iPad with him?
He did.
Did you go onto that iPad and look through it to see what was on it?
I did when it was presented to me for what was on it, yes.
Could we pass forward exhibit, is it 1, the child's backside? Do you recognize this?
I do.
And how do you recognize it?
I'm the one that found it on the iPad.
Okay. Was it in some locked, did you transfer any photographs from Miss Page's TikTok or any other app to the iPad?
No, when I initially got access to the iPad, I panicked because we were more focused on the affair, and there was pornographic images immediately open that Aiden had saw. And I said, before she deletes this, I'm going to send this to my phone because I'm a female and I feel like I'm the safest person, so no one else will see this. And I did, and then it occurred to me to immediately put the iPad on airplane mode, which would put it in a lock mode. I wouldn't be able to alter it, but neither would she, and turned off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth so that it kind of stayed in just a stationary, like a picture book, basically, at that point.
Okay. Did you download anything onto the iPad?
No, you can't do that when it's on
Okay.
airplane mode.
Were those photographs in the photograph album, just like the typical place you go to your phone or your iPad to find photos?
Yes, there were, I think, nearly 9,000 photos on the iPad.
Okay. And so did you find that photograph on the?
Not on that day, but yes. I was searching, because there were multiple things, including her having sex with other men and things that I didn't want Dylan to see. So I took on the responsibility of going through the photos for the divorce, to be honest with you. And there were just so many photos, and I literally stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning and just went photo for photo for photo and found this.
Okay. Did you ask Dylan about it?
I did.
Did you? And what did he?
Dylan did not recognize the photo. He was upset, visibly upset. And I said, I feel like I need to back up. Throughout they need physical evidence of the abuse. And so I was gutturally upset over this, but also relieved because it proved and corroborated his stories that he has told throughout the years. And so I felt like we needed to immediately ask Aiden to identify if this was him and this was the story he told.
Okay.
And so I asked Dylan to follow me and to record me. Well, I asked Aiden.
Okay. And what did Aiden tell you?
He's autistic, so he's very matter of fact. And I said, Aiden, do you recognize this? And he goes, yes, that's the story I told you about. That's my bottom.
Okay.
And I said, okay. And I said, he goes, see that right there? He said, that's the spatula. He said she had two kinds. One was long and one was weird shaped, with a wooden handle, and it was blue on the end. And she used that one, and then she was chasing me, and she picked up a hanger from the floor and hit me with that, and I ran.
Have you ever seen Aiden self-harm?
No, I've seen him nervously chew on his hand, which he just has always done. I don't really know why.
Have you ever seen him hit himself with anything?
No,
Have you ever seen him banging his head on the wall?
no,
Throwing himself hard on the floor?
no.
Okay. Did you have any reason to believe that he could have done something like that to himself?
Absolutely not.
You also found pornographic videos and photographs on the iPad? Did you add those? Did you download those from some other app that was on the iPad?
No,
Was it in some sort of locked area that you needed special code to get to?
no,
Or
no, it was fully open.
was it something that Aiden could have seen on the iPad?
Anyone could, yes.
Did those concern you? Were you concerned about Aiden seeing that?
Yes, the very first, of course, when you open an iPad, there's a series of photos that you can see and then scroll. The very first photos you could see was her vagina and some screenshots of text messages. And then right behind that was Aiden, where he had spent the weekend with his cousins, and it was photos of him and his cousins taking selfies. And I will say, when Aiden takes a video or a selfie, he immediately wants to see that. He wants to watch the silliness of it. So I became very concerned because they were back to each other. And I know that I don't know, I can't say I know, but I feel as though there is no way that he wouldn't have saw those images directly below that, because they were right there.
Okay. The schedule that they've been on, Mom brings Aiden back to the house at what time?
7 p.m.
Okay. And does he have his homework done?
No, mostly not.
Okay. Is he bathed and ready for school the next day?
No, he is not.
So the routine, has he eaten?
Yes.
Usually eaten. What is your routine then? Or, and his father, I assume, is involved in this also? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what is the routine then when Aiden gets home does Miss Page drop him off?
She does.
Okay. And what's the routine?
I'm hands off, but I'm also there.
Okay.
So it's instinctually for me to be a part of that, because he lived with me for a year. And I'm enjoying my time with him. But he typically would come in hyper dysregulated, a lot of times with soda and candy. And we couldn't get him to settle. So our first thing would be is he needs to bring his backpack in, and we've been trying to set responsibilities for him to put it in a certain place, put his shoes in a certain place, and then plug his laptop in to charge it. And then Dylan would pull out his folder. There's a red folder that comes from the teacher, and it has homework. And we would often see that homework wasn't completed, or we would ask him, did you do your spelling words today? And he would say, no, Mom says that I don't have to do them through the week, that I can wait till the end of the week, or I didn't know I needed to do those things. And so often, if we could get him in the right mindset, we would go over things or try to complete things, especially if they were timely. And there's an app called Dojo where you can talk to the teacher. So Dylan and I both would message teachers back and forth to try to figure out timelines and when these things needed to be turned in, and time, if it needed to be the next day, or could it be at the end of the week. And was there a test for it? Because a lot of times there was documents that weren't in the folder that we should have been privy to as well. That has been changed because the teachers have realized, so we get duplicates or they post them on Dojo for us to see now. So that's been very helpful. So no, mostly not. And he struggles with reading and ELA, English Language Arts. And that is where he has the majority of homework. Some math, but he's really good with cruising through his math.
Is he involved in any extracurricular activities?
No, not currently.
Does he want to be?
Yes,
What does he want to do?
he wants to do Boy Scouts with his dad.
And is his dad agreeable to that, as far as you know?
Yes, his dad was in Boy Scouts to Weeblo, and he very much enjoyed it. And Aiden and his father are very similar in nature, temperament, and the things that they like. And he wanted to learn about outdoors, and when he learned that he gets badges to when he learns to achievements to live in the wilderness and all of that, he's super excited to be a part of that.
Have you looked up the schedule for,
The local sheriff is involved in that. From my understanding, the principal said that there's not a chapter here at school. It does have during the week meetings and then some weekend activities. So we honestly have been holding off because we didn't want to set Aiden up for the expectation of that and then not be able to follow through because we didn't have the schedule to accommodate it.
okay, because do you know what time the meetings are?
No, I.
But
didn't
there's
get
at
that
least
far.
one meeting
Yes,
during the
a
week?
Mhm.
Okay.
Ms. Smith, you need opportunity to go to lunch before your hearing at 1.
We can, it's got to be, it's after 12, Your
Whenever
Honor.
you finish your direct, we're going to break
Okay.
for lunch.
Have you witnessed Mr. Boyd, since obviously he's been living with you and him and Aiden have been living with you since November? What have you witnessed about Mr. Boyd's parenting?
Aiden and Dylan, like I said, are same temperament. Dylan is a very calm and gentle parent. They build Legos, boy stuff. They are both homebodies. They like to stay, as Aiden calls it, chillaxing. So once responsibilities are done, during the week, backpacks are checked. Dylan typically goes right into bath. He gets a bath every other night because he has a skin condition. So it's
Dylan
bath.
does or Aiden does?
Aiden has a skin condition.
Okay, and
So
Mr. Boyd bathes them every night?
He puts
Oh,
him in
every
the-
other night.
Every other night. So
Okay.
in the ensuite, there's a jacuzzi, bathtub, or a shower. So Aiden gets to choose which one. And he knows that that encroaches into time. But sometimes he chooses to take a long bath.
Okay. What's bedtime?
8 o'clock to 8:30 is the preference.
Does Mr. Boyd put him to bed?
Yes,
Who gets Aiden up?
Mr. Boyd,
Okay. Who gets him ready for school?
Mr. Boyd,
Who takes him to school?
Mr. Boyd.
Okay. And Mr. Boyd works a full-time job?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what his hours are?
He has started a new job. He took to accommodate the new hours for
Okay.
Aiden's schedule. So he can now, he makes his own hours. So basically, he has a work vehicle. He will drive Aiden to school, drop him off, and work until school is out. And Aiden will most likely ride the bus home, but he's always done that, and he actually enjoys it. And then Dylan will be home for him. And if Dylan is not there, I will be, because I own my own business, and there are certain days of the week that I'm available.
In the last many months, have you witnessed Mr. Boyd drinking to excess?
No.
Have you just witnessed him drinking?
For Mr. Ronnie. Can I have my client's place under oath, please?
You will raise your right hand and be placed under oath, please.
Okay, if you would you state your name?
Smith Prim.
And Ms. Prim, you are the mother of Ronnie, correct?
Yes.
And you have joined in this petition to allow your husband, Landon, to adopt Ronnie, correct?
Yes.
And you understand that that creates in the event of divorce, one or both of you could end up having to pay child support.
Yes.
Obviously, you joined in, you consented. But just state your name.
Landon Broom.
And Mr. Prim, you are here today because you have filed to adopt your stepson, Ronnie, is that right?
Yes.
And obviously, you are in agreement to do this. And do you understand that in the event of divorce, that you could end up paying child support and be financially responsible for?
Yes.
And you are able to financially provide for him at this point?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Prem, you are here today asking me to basically make you this child's father in every legal sense. I just want to make sure that you understand the significance. After today, you will no longer be a stepfather. You're going to be this child's father, the same as if he was your biological son. You understand that? All of the rights, legal rights that a natural parent has, as well as all of the legal obligations that a parent has, all of those are going to now be falling to you. Do you understand that? Who taught this young man, Ronnie, how to dress? He looks pretty sharp. We might want to give some lawyers some tips on how to dress. It's,
He decided that's what he wanted to wear.
oh, well, he decided that. Nice shirt, nice ties. He looks really good. Nice haircut. Yeah, as my daddy used to say, boy, you got a good haircut. So, all right. You understand all of those circumstances already been in order terminating the parental rights of the natural father. And Mrs. Coffenberry, do you have anything to add?
Don't, Your Honor, I'm just pleased to be a part of it.
All right, then we will grant your adoption. You have an order?
I do, Judge. And can they take a picture as well?
I have signed your order and granted your adoption. Congratulations, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and can they come up for a picture?
Sure. They want to have a picture? Come on up here, Ronnie. We're going to let you sit in the big chair. How about that? Let's see. See?
Wee.
Here we go. Anything you want to say to these people while you're on the microphone?
I don't know.
All right,
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Ronnie, I got something for you. I have a younger brother named Ronnie. I think you're better looking than he is, though. So there you go. There's your own gavel. You can use that in school. There you go. Ms. Smith, this is your adoption. Everybody that wants to be a part of this, come on up and surround the podium.
It's really hard to keep still, sorry.
It's all right. So, Ms. Smith, it's my understanding that I'm going to have each one of these people sworn in, and I'm going to ask each one of them some questions about their personal life, right? So, I hope you all had a big breakfast this morning because we're going to have a long adoption hearing. So. All right. So this is the adoption of Isaac Wren Llewellyn, and it's by Lacey Maria. How do you pronounce your last name?
Utita,
Butita. All right, Miss Butita, and these are your two daughters that are here?
my one daughter and her best,
All right.
her sister.
Well, good morning, ladies. I will compliment you on how well you're dressed as well this morning, so. All right. Then we'll ask you, if you will, to raise your, anyone who's going to testify on this matter needs to raise your right hand and be placed under oath. These folks back here didn't raise their right hand to be placed under oath for me to question them, so. All right. Ms. Smith, you may proceed.
State your name, please.
Lacey Butita. Yes, ma'am. Since he was 2 months old, so 22 months.
So you know him well.
Yes.
You you want to adopt him.
Yes, ma'am.
And of course, since you have another one, we were here a couple of years ago.
We were.
And Alana over there.
Yes.
Is your child.
Yes.
So now, so you understand what adoption is.
Yes.
It's as if they were born to you. Take on that responsibility and share all the joy that comes with raising two little babies.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you don't have any qualms about it?
Rebecca Monson, Department of Children's Services.
And are you presently? Okay, I have no more questions.
There are very few things I get to do in this job that give me as much pleasure as giving adoption or granting adoptions, and especially to people who I think are so admirable in opening their home to not adopt not one, but another child. So I think that all of your children are lucky to have you as a mother, and I think it's a wonderful thing to grant this adoption. And since you've had him for a while and you can tell he's an energetic young man, I assume you know what you're getting into.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm sure he'll calm down when he gets to be a teenager and you won't have any problems whatsoever. So I'm happy to grant your adoption. And you understand, as Ms. Smith pointed out, that you're assuming, since you've been through this before, you are assuming all of the rights and obligations, duties, and responsibilities of a biological parent. So, all right. Well, I'm happy to grant that. You have an order?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so stressed out. Oh, Colby wants something.
Ready for his close-up.
We're bringing Layla. Brittany, I'm adopting Layla today too.
Anybody else want to be adopted? I can take care.
Come here, Colby.
Come on up here, girls. You can have a seat in the big chair.
Ooh, fancy.
Good seat.
She's fine.
Anybody else wants to come up?
Well, we got Colby. Hey, buddy.
You want to make room for him?
You
Here,
want to make
here you
room
go.
for Colby?
Come here. Hey, let me lift you up.
Here.
Oh, you want me to lift you up?
Oh, my
I
God.
don't blame you. I wouldn't do it either, so. Okay.
Here, you sit with the girls.
You can sit with the girls.
Okay, ready?
I can see up there. Alright. That's the update.
You're welcome. He's gonna make it up here.
He'll get there.
All
He
right.
would have already been on top
You
of the
want
chair.
one more picture now that he's in the chair?
Okay, ready? Okay, girls, look. 1, 2, 3, cheese.
Cheese.
All right, guys, you want your own gavel? There you go.
Yeah, no, yeah. Just-
Here you go, ladies. Would you like a pencil? You want a pencil for you? You want one? Okay, there you go.
You want one?
You want one too? All right, you ready? He may be a little older when he needs it. Okay, let's start. I'm going to ask questions of you under oath, starting over here, and then we'll work our way around. So, you want a group photo? Everybody in it?
Sure.
Everybody come around here and gather around. This, we have a photographer, so I'm going to let her tell you all where to stand. So, everybody, you probably need to move over this direction, or which way you want to do it. So,
You're gonna go in front of the bench?
Oh, I don't know. Just tell us where to go. We'll go there. Okay. Oh, we're doing it this way. Got it. Okay, yeah.
All right, there you go. Look at me. Look, everyone, run to me.
you're welcome. I think we should just quit for the day right here. So, I have a feeling it's not going to get any better. All right, we are ready to call the next case. All right. No objection has been filed of records, so the matter is before the court without opposition. Therefore, I grant your request. All right. I'm sorry if you need to come up here so you can be heard a little better. All right. Repeat what you were saying. I think that microphone's on. Officer, if you'll check that microphone, make sure it's working, please.
Your Honor, Michelle McGill for Mr. Boyd. As you know, Ms. Smith is on the case now as well. We're prepared to proceed.
All right. This is a hearing on the extension of the ex parte restraining order that was issued previously in this case. And it's my understanding that I think we appeared, or it was before the court earlier, and then it was reset for today.
Correct, Your
Is that
Honor.
correct? All right.
Yes. Yes, you suspended the hearing for Ms. Smith.
All right. Ms. Boyd, you understand we're here today after having reset it for today for you to either consult with an attorney or whatever, but we are ready to proceed. Well, it was reset from last week or some time ago for us to be able to give an opportunity for you to consult with an attorney, so we're going to go forward today. Pardon? And it may have been that we appointed a guardian ad litem.
February 12th, Your Honor, was the date that we were here.
So it's not last week. All right. Ms. Smith has stepped out to deal with her client, so let's give her a moment to come back in. Yes.
Like I said earlier, we said perhaps the option that they may be bad. I just have to throw myself on the mercy of the court. Apparently, this is a case that we had set back, and it was set for final hearing back in January when the snow and the ice came, and it got continued. I had filed a motion. You had given us I think the 12th and the 13th to reset days. Those matters already had things set. Ms. Duke and I agreed to set it for today, and I simply just dropped the ball. There was no order setting it. There's not an order in the file setting it for today. And I apparently in my office failed to notify my client of the hearing date. I called her this morning. My office called her first when I noticed she wasn't here. She advised my assistant that she was not in town. So I followed up and called her. She's actually driving to Alabama. It is purely 100% my error. Nobody else's. I take responsibility for it, but I would request that we get another date, Your Honor.
Ms. Duke?
I'm sympathetic to Ms. Roberts. Reset multiple times. We've also got some kind of pressing issues. One of which is summer. Mr. Ray didn't have any summer participation last year other than his regular daily visit. Ms. Wheatley is not allowing phone calls right now. When she's got the time, wait until the evening before. I was just departments to let them know about that. We're hoping to have that addressed
Well, yeah.
today. She was making significantly more had to last time, and it may have just been a mistake on her part. I don't necessarily think that she lied about it, but
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
she was making.
Well, let me just stop right here and say, where counsel has basically admitted that it's not her client's fault, then I'm going to continue the case to give them an opportunity to be here. We have Dixon Chancery on the 1st of April. I have the Kosuric case. Do you have anything else? What about, we thought was going to take a half day to try this case.
Yes, sir.
So what about the 1st of April?
Your Honor, I think I have a mediation scheduled that day, but I will reset it.
I appreciate that.
I will
That
reset
way
it.
we're not putting it off in.
Right, it was my error, and certainly I'll have to.
Today for a hearing to consider whether to extend the ex parte restraining order that was issued previously in this case. Like many of the other restraining orders that I signed, this restraining order did not strictly prohibit Ms. Boyd from having any contact with a minor child in this case, but rather limited her time with the child to be from Monday through Friday, from when the school was dismissed until 7 p.m., and then every other Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. It eliminated any overnight visitation. That is the restraining order that I'm here today to determine whether that should be extended or not. So if you would like to make any sort of opening statement, Ms. McGill, I'll be glad to hear it. So.
You'll recall, we had asked that, we stated at the first hearing that the child was still experiencing problems, and especially a lot of problems at school. And part of that we felt was because he wasn't getting his homework done and that sort of thing. By the time he got back to Dad's at 7 o'clock, it was really late for him to be doing homework. And so the way the situation is right now, it's father's position that the child's not able to be prepared for school properly, and that's part of his struggles. Based on I have also read the Ms. Smith's report and Mr. Boyd's psychological exam, which Ms. Smith has filed under seal with the court. Is the court aware of those being filed? Okay.
I have reviewed all of those as well. So.
Okay, I have not reviewed, I have not obtained, and I have not reviewed Ms. Boyd's psychological exam. We were made aware this morning that Ms. Smith, it's my understanding from Ms. Smith that she had, that Mrs. Boyd, and I'm sorry, Ms. Page had canceled a few appointments with her, and that she was finally able to see her over the weekend. And because of that, Ms. Smith had to rush and get this report in, and I appreciate that very much from her. I know that probably wasn't an easy task, but it's our understanding this morning that she had also forwarded this report to Ms. Page, and that Ms. Page, the child was in her possession at the time, and that Ms. Page read Ms. Smith's report to the child. And so when the child returned home last night, he was quite upset about that. And I just wanted to make the court aware of that. Obviously, we feel that's not appropriate for the child to be read any kind of reports or anything like that. If Your Honor would like me to proceed with proof, I will call Ms. Page to the stand. And I would ask for the rule, Your Honor.
Rule has been requested. That means anyone who is going to testify in this case, other than the parties, must go outside of the courtroom and remain outside of the courtroom until you are called to testify. You're not to discuss the testimony of any other witness with anyone pending your own testimony. Is the monitor out in the lobby is off? Just double check that to make sure. Ms. Page, do you wish to make an opening statement? If so, I'll be glad to hear from you if you'll come to the podium. Sir.
The things about with homework and everything, they keep stating that I do not do homework.
This courtroom session takes a serious turn when Judge West confronts a defendant over repeated probation violations and a failed drug test. At the beginning of the exchange, the judge reminds the defendant that she had given very specific instructions at the previous hearing. She expected the defendant to follow those instructions and return with the names of the people she had contacted. But the bigger problem quickly becomes clear when the judge asks whether the defendant is still wearing her drug patch. The answer is yes, but the test results tell a very different story. The patch reportedly tested positive for methamphetamine and cocaine, immediately raising serious questions about whether the defendant had followed the conditions of her bond. The judge then explains why the result is especially concerning. At the previous hearing, the defendant had apparently arrived with the drug patch in her hand, meaning it could not properly be tested. The judge ordered her to have another patch placed and instructed her to keep it on. Now, after that patch was worn, the results reportedly came back positive. The judge tells her to have a seat while another drug test is conducted in court, but then changes her mind and calls her back. The court determines that the positive results, combined with the earlier violations and failure to follow instructions, are enough to take immediate action. Judge West then delivers the consequence. She explains that using illegal substances violates the defendant's bond conditions and points out that this is not the first problem involving the drug patch or the court's instructions. As a result, the judge raises the defendant's bond to $100,000 and tells her that she will keep her court-appointed attorney while she remains in custody. The defendant tries to explain that she has not been using drugs and questions whether something involving the patch could have caused the result. But the judge remains focused on the evidence before the court, telling her that something had to account for the positive result. The message is unmistakable. The court is no longer willing to simply overlook repeated violations. The judge then moves to another case involving Ahmad LeBlanc, a defendant already on deferred probation for aggravated assault. This case is also serious.